It's Tuesday, February 17th. In the headlines, Jamaica in talks to renew Cuban medical program amid United States pressure. In business news, Wesinco Group's chairman concerned about the impact of the new taxes on sugar products. Regionally, in Barbados, new members of cabinet and parliamentarians sworn in. And in sports, Khadija Bunny Shaw to lead Reggae Girls in a crucial CONCACAF clash against Nicaragua. In cricket news, Cricket Premier League confirms return to Jamaica for the 2026 season. This is the news on PBC Jamaica. I'm Simone Absalom Gale. Jamaica is in talks with Cuba to renew its decades-old medical cooperation program, even as mounting pressure from the United States casts a shadow over the arrangement. Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton confirmed to the press that while the previous Memorandum of Understanding has lapsed, close to 300 Cuban doctors and specialists remain on the island under existing contracts. He told the Gleaner that discussions are complex, with Jamaica awaiting responses on several outstanding matters. The minister says the partnership continues to function for now. Cuban ophthalmologists remain active under the long-standing eye care program, while other medical professionals continue to staff hospitals and healthcare centers across the country. However, the program has already felt strained. Last year, dozens of Cuban healthcare workers returned home. The matter has escalated following the return of U.S. President Donald Trump to the White House in January 2025. Washington has accused Cuba's overseas medical missions of forced labor and human trafficking, claims Cuba and several Caribbean governments firmly reject. For Jamaica, the stakes are high, with staffing shortages persisting and patient demand rising. The outcome of the ongoing negotiations could significantly shape the future of public health care delivery on the island. The opposition People's National Party is calling for a compassionate, principled response to Cuba's worsening humanitarian crisis. In a statement on Monday, the PNP highlighted Jamaica's long-standing ties with its closest neighbor, noting decades of Cuban support in health, education, and technical cooperation. The party notes that thousands of Jamaicans have benefited from Cuban medical missions and scholarships. The PNP urged CARICOM and wider international community to defend these principles, promote dialogue, and support stability in Cuba, which is currently facing fuel rationing due to U.S. sanctions. The National Housing Trust, NHT, is assuring contributors that its decision to allow cash refunds for mortgages with direct NHT loans will not weaken the agency's finances. Assistant General Manager for Corporate Communications and Public Affairs, Dwayne Burbick, told a JIS think tank that the changes affect only how contributors receive their money, not the stability of the trust's loan portfolio or its cash flow.
The contribution refunds is the owner of that is the customer. So the NHT receives these monies, as Camille indicated. The NHT invests them actually in our different instruments, primary instrument being our mortgage portfolio and our construction portfolio. And so the NHT is not surprised that these customers are now able to apply for it and would not be limited any at all in terms of making a payout.
According to Mr. Burbick, the policy shift was anticipated in the trust's financial planning. The revised policy took effect on July 1 last year. It now allows all eligible NHT contributors, including private sector workers and self-employed individuals, to receive their contribution refunds directly in cash.
Really, it's just a change in where the payout is made, because otherwise this would have gone as a credit to their mortgage account. So it's not monies that the NHT had any plans for, really, per se, because that would have been going to the customer in any event. The difference is just that it's going now as cash in hand versus as a direct credit to their mortgage account.
Previously, only public sector workers had access to the cash option. The new arrangement levels the playing field, giving all qualifying contributors the same flexibility in accessing their funds, while maintaining the financial stability of the trust.
Between 2019 and 2024, the NHT can make those contributions available to you ahead of time to assist with your home ownership goals, specifically to assist with making a deposit on a property that you're buying, legal fees, surveyor's ID report, valuation reports, closing costs in the case of construction, if there are property taxes owed.
This week on Living Healthy, we're talking about suicide, particularly men who feel the urge to do so. Don't. Please call Mental Health and Suicide Prevention Helpline at 888-639-5433. That's 888-639-5433. Remember, mental health conditions do not discriminate. Here's more from JIS.
Suicide is often a silent crisis, especially among men. For too long, many have carried heavy burdens in silence. But what happens when the silence becomes too much to bear?
Suicide is essentially somebody who ends their life or takes their own life, usually because of differing pressures or situations. Women are 4 times as likely to attempt suicide, but men are twice as likely to actually complete it. So you'll find that women will tend to ask for help in different ways as a way of seeking help. Men, once they get to that point, is I just want to end it all. And so it's more of a completeness in that sense.
But why are men so reluctant to seek help?
Usually it's the discrimination, stigmatization of seeking help. The thought of going to a medical professional to seek help because you're not feeling so well, mentally in this case, is seen as a form of weakness, and the last thing you want a man to feel is weak. So having that sense of vulnerability of I need to get support is not a very comfortable feeling for many men. So it makes it very, very difficult for them to actually go out and seek the support that they need.
There are signs to look out for when someone may be in distress.
So for example, a man may be more withdrawn, not socializing as much as before, perhaps changes in eating habits, sleeping habits. So he's eating more, eating less, sleeping more, sleeping less. Thoughts of taking his life, saying to friends, boy, I just don't see the purpose of life anymore. In some extreme cases, when we know that the possibility is there that they may complete suicide, is when they say things like, oh, all of a sudden everything is better, everything is fine, I know the exact way how to deal with this. Or they may give away their property, sell their things, give away, or even pack up their room in such a way that says everything is now neat and in order. Usually a sign that something is definitely going on.
The weight of unspoken stress can take a toll, not just on the mind, but on the body too.
When we think about holding up our stress, or is a man hold up your stress, it's not a very good thing, because when we bottle things up, we think, oh, it's going to just be me suppressing it. But it starts coming out in physical symptoms, which men may even dismiss. Without having a history of hypertension, they may have high blood pressure, they may have developed certain kind of cancers, excessive tiredness, different things that come up for them. And so it's saying to them, hey, something is not right. We're thinking that everything is fine, but it's not.
Time now for the business report with Denise Williams.
Welcome to today's business report. I'm Denise Williams, bringing you the developments shaping markets, capital access, and business decision-making across Jamaica and the region. Let's get into the stories that matter. Chairman of the Wasinco Group, William Mafood, says the $10.1 billion special consumption tax slapped on sweetened drinks is a vigorous attack on a particular industry. He also stressed to RJR News that this will only deprive poor people of money to spend on other items such as food, because it is the masses who consume these products and will not stop doing so because of the new taxes. Reiterating that it is the most vulnerable in society who buy these products, Mr. Mafood said the argument that the most vulnerable will not be affected is flawed. Mr. Mafood stressed that the application of taxes must be broad-based and not sector-specific. The Wasinco Group, the country's leading manufacturer of sweetened drinks, generated profits of $1.5 billion or 39 cents per share, compared with $1 billion or 26 cents per share during the same period of the previous year. The Statistical Institute of Jamaica says the All Jamaica Consumer Price Index fell by 0.8% in January. The agency reports that the drop was driven largely by a 2.6% decline in the index for food and non-alcoholic beverages. Prices fell sharply in the category covering vegetables, tubers, and other farm produce, as well as ready-made food products. Statin says this was due to increased local agricultural supply, which pushed down the prices of items such as cabbage, carrots, cucumbers, scallion, sweet peppers, and tomatoes. Despite January's decline, the point-to-point inflation rate for the year to January stood at 3.9%, driven mainly by higher costs for food, housing, and personal care goods and services. For the trading period of February 17, 2026, the most actively traded securities were NCB Financial Group Limited with 3,200,228 units, representing 15.91% of market sales activities. Atlantic Hardware and Plumbing Company Limited with 2,852,387 units, representing 14.18% of market sales activities. Trans-Jamaica and Highway Limited with 2,722,739 units, representing 13.54% of market sales activities. Investor activity remained concentrated in transportation, banking, and finance plays, signaling continued interest in dividend-producing and strategic assets. Turning to the foreign exchange market based on Bank of Jamaica data for February 17, 2026, Forex traders recorded significant activity with strong demand across major currencies. For the US dollar, trading margins reflected steady liquidity, with the US selling at $156.93 and buying at $154.78. For the Canadian dollar, moderate gains supported by $3.33 transaction spreads The Canadian dollar sold for $115.27 and was bought for $111.94. For the British pound, continued volatility offered short-term trading opportunities of $5.88 in profits for the banks. The British pound sold for $212.32 and was bought for $206.44. These movements underscore the importance of cash flow timing and currency awareness for businesses managing import costs, debt servicing, or overseas exposure. For our credit report tip of the day, a credit report should be seen as a financial tool, not something to be ashamed of. Debt simply shows what you owe, while credit worthiness shows how well you handle your financial commitments. Ignoring your credit because of discomfort can limit your options and make issues harder to fix. When you treat your credit report as an asset, you review it regularly, correct mistakes, and use credit responsibly. Over time, this creates more opportunities and greater financial options. And that's today's business report. I'm Denise Williams, bringing clarity to capital, markets, and strategy. Until next time, stay informed, stay intentional, and keep building forward. See you soon.
In regional news, Barbados' Prime Minister Mia Mottley has moved swiftly to begin a new term in office, swearing in a 25-member cabinet just hours after her election victory. Ernesta Henry reports.
Hours after winning the February 11th general election, Prime Minister Mia Mottley and Attorney General Wilfred Abrams were sworn in at State House. Today, 25 ministers took the oath of office. Prime Minister Mottley has pledged that her team for the times will govern without triumphalism, vindictiveness, and arrogance. She says they will and must govern for all Barbadians. Those who voted for the Barbados Labour Party, those who voted against the party, and those who stayed away from the polls.
To those who did not vote, out of disillusionment or frustration or exhaustion with the noise, I want you to hear me clearly. This is your government too. We will rebuild the relationship only in the only way that it can be rebuilt, with respect, with consultation, and yes, with results that you can see, touch, and feel.
The structure of the cabinet reflects the need to meet changing times, which will demand a sober judgment, steady hands, and courage to act and listen. Prime Minister Mottley says the cabinet has been deliberately balanced, carefully chosen, and repurposed to face current realities with strategic focus. And she has the answers for those who may want to know why is the cabinet structured like this.
If you ask me why we have a dedicated minister responsible for the public service and for people talent, it is because the public service is our delivery engine. And Barbados' next phase as a country will fail or succeed on the quality of our delivery. We have to become more efficient. We have to become more responsive. We have to become more laser-like in how we serve our people.
There is also a dedicated minister for public and private investment, because while the country's tax collection is doing well, the tax base remains tenuous and the progress depends on the ability to drive local and foreign investment.
If you ask me why economic affairs must have a dedicated focus and structure to improve our national competitiveness, it is because stabilizing the economy was not our destination. Yes, we have stabilized, and we're proud of it. And we're proud of the fact that we have 18 straight quarters of growth. But the work, my friends, continues. And we must become faster, smarter, and more attractive in how the state relates to households, to workers, and to businesses.
And every minister who has taken the oath of office has been warned that their performance will be measured not by the length of their speeches, but the depth of their impact in the lives of Barbadians.
If you are not delivering for the person waiting at the bus stop in the rain, if you are not delivering for the small business owner frustrated by red tape, if you are not delivering for the family struggling with the price of a basket of goods, if you are not delivering for those who are most vulnerable, who are exposed to the elements in our country, then, my friends, we will not be fulfilling our covenant with the people of Barbados.
Some of the ministers include Senior Minister Infrastructure and Minister of Transport and Works Kirk Humphrey, Deputy Prime Minister, Minister of Environment, National Beautification, Green and Blue Economy, and Leader of Government Business in the House of Assembly, Santia Bradshaw, Minister of Finance, Ryan Strawn, Senior Minister, Foreign Affairs, Senator Chris Sinclair, Minister of Public and Private Investment, Indar Weir, Minister of Health and Wellness and Leader of Government Business in the Senate, Senator Lisa Cummins, Minister of Home Affairs and Information, Gregory Nichols, Minister of Legal Affairs and Criminal Justice, Michael Lashley, Minister of Agriculture and National Food Security, Dr. Chantal Monroe-Knight, Minister in the Prime Minister's Office with responsibility for youth and culture, Senator Shane Archer. Onesta Henry, CBC News.
The Grenadian son and regional finance leader is continuing his legacy of service in the Caribbean. Timothy Antoine has been reappointed to serve a third consecutive term as governor of the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank, effective February 1, 2026. The announcement was made by St. Kitts and Nevis Prime Minister Terence Drew. GBN News has more.
A Grenadian son and regional leader continues to build a legacy of service in the Caribbean. Timothy N.J. Antoine is now serving his third consecutive term as governor of the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank, the ECCB. His reappointment, effective February 1st, 2026, was announced by Honorable Dr. Terence Drew during the 112th meeting of the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank Monetary Council.
The Monetary Council confirmed the reappointment of Mr. Timothy N.J. Antoine as Governor of the ECCB for a term of 5 years, effective 1st February 2026. Congratulations, Governor.
Thank you, Prime Minister.
The Council underscored the importance of leadership continuity at a time when the region must pursue bold and coordinated policy and policy action to maintain stability and secure durable growth, diversification, and resilience.
Dr. Drew added that Antoine's reappointment signals continued confidence in his leadership at a time when the region faces ongoing global economic uncertainties and financial transformation.
The Council reviewed the Governor's report on monetary, credit, and financial conditions in the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union titled ECCU 2026 and Beyond, Bold Policies for Bigger and More Resilient Economies. The Council reaffirmed that monetary and financial stability remain the bedrock for the ECCU's development strategy. The EC dollar remains strong and credible. The backing ratio stands at 99.5%, well above the statutory minimum of 60%. Very commendable.
Antoine first assumed the role of governor on February 1st, 2016, bringing to the position a wealth of experience, including service as Permanent Secretary in Grenada's Ministry of Finance. His ascent to the region's top financial post marked a significant milestone, not only for Grenada, but for the wider Eastern Caribbean. Over the past decade, he remained a steady hand at the helm of the ECCB, safeguarding the strength and stability of the EC dollar and guiding monetary and financial policy across the bank's member territories. His tenure is widely regarded as one defined by discipline, stewardship, strategic reform, and regional collaboration. As he embarks on this new term, national pride runs high. Grenadians at home and abroad continue to celebrate his accomplishments and express confidence in his continued stewardship of the region's financial future.
In sports, we kick things off with football. Jamaican striker Khadija Bunny Shaw will lead the Reggae Girls in their face-off against Nicaragua on March 2. The Group B CONCACAF Women's Qualifier match will happen at the Nicaragua National Stadium. Bunny currently tops the goal-scoring chart in the Women's Super League with 15 goals for England's Manchester City Football Club, underlining her status as one of the most dangerous attackers in women's football. Jamaica is second in Group B with 3 points from one outing, while hosts Nicaragua lead the standings with 6 points from 2 matches. Now on to the pitch with cricket. The Caribbean Premier League will return to Jamaica in 2026 after a 7-year absence. League officials have confirmed that a Jamaica-based franchise will be revived with 2 matches scheduled for Sabina Park. CPL games have not been played locally since 2019, prompting repeated calls from fans for the island's return to the T20 calendar. Organizers say the decision follows discussions with the Jamaican government, including the Ministries of Sport and Tourism. Jamaica has won the CPL 3 times since its inception. CPL Chief Executive Pete Russell says the league is thrilled to be coming back, while Culture and Sport Minister Olivia Grange notes the tournament's expected economic and cultural impact. Cricket West Indies President Dr. Kishore Shallow also welcomed the move, describing Sabina Park as a pillar of Caribbean cricket. The first matches are set for 2026. And that's the news on PBCJ. You can follow us on our social media platforms at PBCJamaica. Thank you so much for watching the People's Station.